Vamos aproveitar esses segundos de pausa no podcast para falar sobre horas. Conheça o novo Samsung Galaxy Watch Ultra, projetado para resistir a qualquer desafio e superar limites com o poder do Galaxy AI. Quer garantir o seu? Ganhe a partir de R$800 de desconto no seu relógio usado. Acesse samsung.com.br e saiba mais. Galaxy Watch Ultra. Galaxy AI chegou.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Dr. Psych Mom Show. Today, I'm going to be talking about what men want from their wives, and this is a companion to the prior episode about what women want from their husbands. So you should definitely listen to both. Could definitely discuss both if you guys are couple listeners. Some people have reached out to tell me that they listen to this with their spouse, and that always warms my heart because it's about as close as you could come to DIY couples therapy. And if you want even more for you guys, you couples that are already into self-development and making the time to do this kind of thing, you do remember I have a book on Amazon, 52 Emails to Transform Your Marriage. So y'all would probably like that as well. Okay, so before we move to the heart of the episode, also do subscribe. Most recent subscriber episode was physiological variables that impact your spouse's irritability levels. And that could be a real eye-opener for you if you've only thought about the physical needs of your children. But guess what? There are other humans in the house too, which is hard to remember in today's child-centered culture. And they are called the adults, and you need to think about their physiological needs as well. Okay, so what do men want from their wives? Well, unless you've been in a coma, you have heard my myriad episodes that discuss that men want sex. And so if this bothers you, I have a post that'll bother you even more called something like Men Get Married to Have a Lot of Sex. Isn't that a hoot? But it's true, and especially the men that were raised in these purity culture type religions, they are really told, that they're going to have lots of sex as soon as they get married. Of course, the women were being told to clamp their legs together and then to switch on a dime on their wedding night. And so, hijinks ensue that often, are not too funny and end the couples up in my office. But the point being, yes, men want sex. That's totally normal. It's totally normal for men to want sex. It's not normal for them to guilt trip you or pressure you. And I've talked about that a lot of different places, but it is totally normal and healthy for men to want to have sex within their marriages every few days, or every week when you're in busy periods is normal, and as you get older, it's things tend to lengthen out. So in the couples that don't struggle with sex in my office, and the individuals who are not coming in for marital problems, and just from statistics, there are people who are having sex, I mean, if you're not one of them, it's hard to kind of understand that in a healthy marriage, people are having sex. And actually, the data suggests that less than once a week is associated with unhappiness. And in younger couples, from what I see, less than a couple times a week is associated with unhappiness. But, these things are averaged out across age groups, the data that's usually collected. But the point being here is a totally normal thing and a totally expected thing for a man to prioritize his sex life and to want physical touch, non-sexual physical touch. I have a podcast called Yes, Men Like Non-Sexual Physical Touch. And often, honestly, even if the man is not having sex, if you're kissing him and hugging him and cuddling with him, but you're just really, really tired and tapped out, then any nice guy, and I don't mean nice guy the way that it's, bandied about in the manosphere. I mean, actually a nice human being is going to be okay. I've never heard a guy say, and I had a video on this that went about as viral as my videos get, that was like, there are no affectionate women that are in sexless marriages. This is this is fake news. You do not have sweet, loving women that are giving hugs and kisses and cuddles, but they just, can't have sex. That maybe if like a woman is like at a stage in her pregnancy where she was advised not to have sex, and that happens with like a high-risk pregnancy from things that people tell me, clients and what their doctors say. That's about it. Or like the 6 weeks afterwards. Like if you have like a medical reason where you're literally told do not have sex, then yes, you're cuddly and you're cute and you're sweet. But there are just no people who are just cuddly and sweet and cute and everything, but just say, no, we can never, ever have sex, never, ever. So really, in healthy relationships, the man is asking for the whole ball of wax, and the woman is good with it, and they have a sex life. They touch, they hold hands, they kiss, they hug, not constantly. Obviously, people have shit to do in their lives too, but it's something that they do. They cuddle before sleep, or they cuddle when they're on the couch. They regularly try to do things together. I'll get to that in a second. And yes, they have sex. Sex that's enjoyable for both, by the way. Sex that, both people enjoy. Because if you're only having sex one person enjoys, you're going to stop having sex. And I talk about that a great deal on various podcasts. So that brings me to the next thing, is guys like the woman to be fun. And this may be, feel like a tall order at some stages of life with young kids around, but still, the things that guys seem to brag about are when, in mixed company, in public, where you're not talking about your sex life, are that the woman is fun. She has good ideas. Oh, she got us tickets to this concert. It was super fun. I never would have thought to do it. Oh, she did this cool thing, with the kids, they had this sprinkler set up in the yard, and it was such a good idea, and the kids had a blast. Oh, she invited over the neighbors, blah, blah, blah. Shit like that. It's fun. They want to have something that is fun. And I did not put this one in the what women want from their husbands, because I just don't hear it as often. Yes, there are some extroverted women that are coupled with introverted husbands, and they feel like he has really turned into a bump on a log. He really does nothing. He's too passive. He has no ideas to do anything. But it's not as common of a thing that universally people seem to like. Whereas non-depressed men have generally higher energy levels than women in the first place. And so when the woman does something that seems like fun out there, requiring energy, they seem to rise to that occasion and appreciate it. But of course, this could be your huge wake-up call if you've been on the fence about whether your husband is depressed. You're like, my husband, the minute I say that we should do something, he just hates it. He burrows under the covers like a vole person. Yeah, maybe he is depressed, it could be something to think about and talk about. Anyway, so this fun, spontaneous thing is something that guys seem to like. Also, calm, peace. Guys, unless they grew up in very dysfunctional homes where there was always fighting, which is a lot of guys, that's these people that are too fearful avoidance together. Or just guys that, the guys, I have a post that says, beware of the I hate drama guy that has all crazy exes, because guess who's contributing? He is. But the average man, and again, in these two podcast episodes, this one and the prior, I am talking about what a healthy relationship is supposed to look like, and what it looks like is that the guy wants the home to be peaceful and calm, without a lot of drama, without a lot of fighting. And a haven, really, to the children, a place where people seem generally happy to be there and want to go home, versus a lot of guys are like, if they had a dysfunctional childhood, more than women say it too, but again, men just have more freedom. They do more stuff, they drive quicker, they go places, they're allowed to stay over their girlfriends overnight, even if the girl wouldn't be allowed to go stay at the boyfriend's overnight. This is just kind of things I hear in the ambient universe. So guys in particular, if they're unhappy at home, they get the hell out of Dodge really quick. By 11, they're barely coming in. They're just trying to play outside all the time. And by, a certain other age, they're at a friend's house all the time. And then when they get a car and a girlfriend, they never come back to their house. So many of those men state to me that their goal for their children is to have a home where kids are happy, where kids like to hang out. A lot of guys who spent their childhood not liking their home are the guys who have the whole setup, the Xbox and the ping pong and all the shit at home, so that their kid likes to come home. And many guys that were happy at home, because there are those people too, like to perpetuate that. So they'll be like, oh yeah, my house was the house everybody came to, or I have positive memories of us doing things like game nights, or my favorite memories are working on the car with my dad, or, on and on and on. So they have positive memories at home, and they want to replicate those with their kids. So then, of course, in my other podcast, I talked about other variables such as smart, funny, talented, creative, etc. These are, again, super individual. So individual. Guys tend to like the idea of their wife being super smart and even smarter than them. And even if they had like a PhD in physics, they'll be like, no, you don't understand. She's super smart. She's smarter than me at all the skills of like emotional intelligence. Guys really like to brag about their wife being smart. It's probably some biological thing so that their kids could be smart. I don't know, but I know that it happens like all the time. Even more than women brag about their husbands being smart. And women do brag about their husbands being smart for the same reasons, you know? And in fact, interestingly, I have a whole podcast on having the same sense of humor with your husband. And there's a biological imperative of that. And I researched that. And that's because men who have a quick sense of humor are quick thinkers. And then they could protect you from, you know, a lion or whatever is going to happen. But anyway, do men care so much if their wife is funny, super smart, creative, you know, whatever? It's great. If they love her, if they're happy with the other variables, it's great. And, you know, people attract what they, you know, like. If somebody's whole life is about being an intellectual, he wants an intellectual wife. If somebody's whole life is about being funny, usually he wants either a funny wife or at least somebody who gets his jokes. Like all those intimacy porn TikTok accounts where it's literally just a guy telling jokes to his wife and her laughing. And if you want to hear more about what I think about that, you could go to my intimacy porn podcast. Just Google those words within the Spotify search bar. And that does bring us to another thing about looks, because a lot of cynical women say only supermodels are the ones who can get guys. Look around you. Everyone almost is married. Are they supermodels? No. Is everybody a supermodel married to a rich, you know, producer? No, these are not what people are. Look around you in the world. Most couples are dating somebody who looks similar to them. And as I always say, men need to think their wife is really hot for things to work. And that's just think. She doesn't actually have to have a modeling contract. She just needs to be his type. And he's always kind of remembering her basically when they started dating, superimposed on whatever she looks like now anyway. So yes, physical attraction is important. I'm never going to lie to you guys. It's super important. But if he felt that you were hot enough to marry, unless you have changed precipitously, like you're not recognizable, then he's probably into you now. And the same, you know, for what women want in their husbands is for them to look kind of, you know, recognizable from where they looked before. And I did not put that one in because women do not come in and talk as much about it. But I'll tell you, nobody likes the person who just completely let themselves go, quote unquote, and just dresses like a slob and just sits on the couch and just nothing, just doesn't even engage in a way that they're not even acting attractive. That's kind of when people get really annoyed, is the person stops going to the gym, they stop trying to dress nice, they don't really even, you know, dress up for like a date night. That's when both genders tend to get annoyed and feel that the partner is really not giving it their all. And so you may say, and some women say, but I'm not a calm person, I'm kind of a difficult person, and I think he really likes that. Well, I got some news for you, and I hope you're sitting down, but he doesn't like that unless he's really dysfunctional. I mean, if you mean some kind of cute thing where, like, every so often, like, you got a counterpoint and, like, a little debate, okay. But you know what? Nobody really likes that. You know, like, I mean, like, really, women don't like it. Nobody likes it. I have multiple podcasts on, like, how much women hate it when men are difficult and defensive. And men do not like it either. Nobody really likes somebody who just fights just to fight. Nobody likes somebody who debates just to debate. Nobody wants to be, like, in a race to see whose cortisol can go up higher and have a heart attack first. This is not what healthy people want from their marriage. Does this mean you have to agree on everything? No. But as I have a post about, alert, you don't need to have an opinion on most things. Then I give a 90-10 rule where I say that really only 10% of things are things that you should have an opinion on. And if you instead have an opinion on 90% of things, I mean, of course you could have an opinion, But like an opinion that you like have to verbalize and that you're like really tied to as a person, that's not making you cute. It's not making him think he married a real firecracker. It's probably making him just tired, irritated, annoyed, really kind of dispirited, and just not want to talk, because every time we talk, it goes to shit. So much like you might feel with an oppositional teenager. And of course, men who are listening, women don't like this either, but I do have multiple podcasts about that. All right, so I hope this was useful. These two, it's like about a half hour of listening that really explicates what each gender is looking for in a healthy relationship. And I will talk to you all soon, guys. Have a great day. And again, if you want to interact with me more, and everybody that was my super fans, then join the Facebook secret group. That is the blue subscribe button on my Facebook account, and that's a great group of people. I will talk to y'all soon. Have a good day. And here is a PS, and I know for my real super fans that you guys like these PSs, so I put one in whenever I have one. It's the hidden track here. You may say, why didn't I say that a guy wants a woman to be nice? Well, I mean, of course a guy wants a woman to be nice, and I thought that was subsumed under not argumentative and like basically like cuddly and loving physically. But just to clarify, definitely a guy wants a woman to be nice. I don't usually hear that a guy feels it's really generous and brags about it when his wife takes over his chores and stuff. Although if he's ill, sometimes guys do say stuff like that. But in terms of like going out of your way, getting him a cute little present, a healthy man also, just like I said in the podcast about women, a healthy man also likes all the love languages. So especially because Father's Day is going to be coming up soon, you should think about that. Don't just do one of the love languages. Try to maybe do all the love languages. Say something nice and buy him something cute and have sex and spend the day together and the acts of service. Yeah, you don't have to do that one. Bake him a cake, but whatever. So yes, men also like love and affection and kind words and all of that sort of thing too. But I couldn't really picture a woman being cuddly and cute without doing that kind of stuff. But in case, the equity police comes and tells me that I spent 5, more minutes on the women's than the men's, I just thought it should be said. All right, have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.